Hello and welcome back to this tutorial. In our previous video, we learned how to send messages with Python. In this video, we are going to be working with Pyautogui, and this is a library that helps you to interact with your operating system, right? So it helps you to automate your operating system, to automate your keyboard, your mouse, to interact with your screen in so many ways. So we had already installed Pyautogui when we were setting up for this module, and the first thing we are going to be doing is to import Pyautogui. Okay, so just like we have been doing before, we are going to import Pyautogui, and we are also going to import time because we might be needing to delay our script a bit. So I'm going to import time. Okay, so basically we are going to be going over several commands that are very important if you want to work with this Pyautogui. So the first command that we are going to be looking at is how to check the width and height of your screen. So that is the resolution of your screen. Now, because it is important to know the resolution of your screen, and this will help you probably when you want to automate some things, you won't exceed the resolution of your screen. So the first thing I'm going to do is I am going to give this Pyautogui an alias so that I'll be accessing it using the alias. So I'm going to say as EA, right? So now I'm going to check for the resolution of my screen, and I'm just going to write it in a print statement. So I'm going to say print, I'll open and close my parentheses, PA dot size. Okay, so I'm going to open and close this, and if I run this, it is going to give me the resolution of my screen in height. That's the height and the width of my screen. Okay, so as you can see now, we have that the width of my screen is 1920 pixels and the height of my screen is 1080 pixels. Okay, so the next thing that I'm going to print is the current position of my mouse on my screen. So, and before that, I'm going to delay the time of the script so that I can move the mouse around. So because if I just print it, it will give me the position of this particular play button, right, which I am using to run it. So I am going to first of all use time.sleep. So I'm going to write my time.sleep, and I'm going to make it sleep for like 3 seconds. So before 3 seconds, I should have moved my mouse to here or wherever I want it to be. So then I'm going to print pa.position. Okay, so I'm going to run this, and I'm going to leave my cursor there. So now you see this is the place where my mouse was, right? So remember the width of my screen is 1920. So from here all the way to this place is about 1815 pixels, right? So and from y-axis coming from here is about 56 pixels. Okay, now I can move my mouse to another point, and after the running, and then I will get the position of that particular point. So I'm going to leave this. So the delay is counting 5 seconds, and here you can see that my mouse now has a different position. Okay, so the next thing that we are going to be doing is that we are going to be moving our mouse around. All right, so now that we have known how to get a position, we can get a position of a particular point, and then we can ask our mouse to go to that particular point. Okay, so I am going to run this again, and I will take my mouse to probably this place, this Microsoft store, and this is the position of this Microsoft store. So if I want to automatically move my mouse to this taskbar and this exact point where I have this Microsoft store, I can automate it by writing this command. So I can write the command, then print that again. So I am going to say pa.move to, okay, and I am going to use this 1185 pixel and 1046 pixel. So I have 1185 comma then 1046. Okay, so and I'm going to also add the duration. So it is the time that this mouse is going to move and get to this place. So and I'm going to add this duration, and I'm going to say maybe in 1 second, so or 2 seconds. And after it moves to this place, I want to delay this a bit before I print the current position. So I'm going to delay it by writing time.sleep, and I'm going to pass in 3 seconds. Okay, so I'm going to run this, and my cursor is going to move to that very point. Yes, and it's going to delay again for 3 seconds before the print. Right, so as you can see, we can actually automate so many things with Python. So the next thing that we're going to be doing is that instead of moving to, we can use move relative. So assuming I move to this point, and then I want to move to, and I want to move about 50 pixels to the right or to the left. All right, so I can decide to move to this point, then again move relative. So I'm going to just again pa dot move relative. So it is going to be like relative to where it is currently. So, and you are going to pass in your position on the x-axis and the position on the y-axis. So I am going to ask it to move 50 pixel on the x-axis and 0 pixel on the y-axis. So it's just going to move this way, 50 pixel this way. So, and it will delay before, when it gets to this place, it will delay a bit before it moves to the next side. So I am going to also write my delay. So I'm going to time.sleep, and I'm going to pass in again 3 seconds, or I could reduce it to 2 seconds, and then I will run. So now we have that, and then we have another movement, yes, and then we have the other scripts. All right, so I believe we understand how this works. So there are so many methods in here. You can read up the documentation page for all of the methods. You can use it to automate so many things. But for now, we are still going to move on to get a few more methods checked out. And we are going to be looking at the click, the right click, the left click, the double click, and we are going to also be looking at the scroll, and we are going to be looking at the type right and press. So we can use it to press our keyboards. If you can use it to type some text into our documents. Okay, so we are going to cover just a few of them. So without further waste of your time, I'm going to clear the terminal. So after this movement, I'm going to ask my keyboard to click this for me. And if it double clicks, so if he clicks this and moves to this point and click, we should have this window open, right? So we can actually achieve that. And how can we achieve that? Well, we are going to get the position of this particular place. So right now, I am going to comment all of this. So I'm going to comment all of this out and get the position of this particular spot. Okay, so I am going to run this, and I'm going to get the position of this particular spot. Okay, so now we have this place, and we are going to uncomment this, and after it moves relative, we are going to ask it to move to a certain position again and click. You understand? So, and this time around, we are going to be using a different command, and that is pa dot click. So if you just say click without passing any arguments, it will move. You have to use the move method first before it clicks, right? Before it moves to that place and click. So if you use click without passing any argument, it will just click wherever it is. But if you pass in argument, the x and y axis argument, then it will move to that particular point and then click. All right. So then what we are going to do is we are going to, after it moves relative, it should click, right? It will click once, then it will also move to a certain position and click again. So, and where is that position? We are going to give it the x-axis of 1177 and the y-axis of 944. Right. So after this click, we should give it a delay of about maybe 1 second, and before it goes to the other side to click. Okay, so let's run that, and we have our first step, our second step, click, and then that. Okay, so that was a successful script, and so many other ideas that you can initiate. So far you know a particular position you get the value of a particular position, you can ask your mouse to close this window, and you can ask your mouse to open this file, or just do a couple of things that you want it to do for you. All right, so I'm going to go over a few other methods, and that is and I'm going to just rush through them. So we have the pa dot right click. Okay, we also have pa dot left click. We have pa dot double click. So you can play around with all these commands and see what they can do for you. All right, so we can also do the pa dot scroll. So, and this will help you to scroll a particular length. Okay, so on the y axis. So if you give it a positive value, it will scroll up. If you give it a negative value, it will scroll down. So I might as well just comment out some of this and leave only the sleep. So, and I want this to scroll, well, maybe 100 pixel up. So, and I'm going to run, and after the 3 seconds we should have a little scroll. Yeah, so, and if you give it a negative value, if you have like a down scroll, so, and you should have a little scroll downwards. Okay, so you can also do type right, and it will type in the string that you passed. So I can write it type right, and I'm going to pass in a string. All right, so and I'm going to say type for me Pyautogui. And before you type that, please scroll to this. Please move the mouse to the next line. So I'm going to achieve that by first of all getting the position of that place, and I'm going to get the position of this place. So I don't know what went wrong, but I'm going to run that again. So I'm getting the position of this place. Oh, and it typed the Pyautogui. Okay, so I'm going to sleep this. So I'm going to allow it to take a bit of its time. So it will sleep, and before it starts typing. So it will sleep for 4 seconds, and before it types, I want to get this position first so that it will move to this particular place. So I want to get the position of this place where my mouse is, right? So I'm going to run this again. So I will get the position of this place, and the position is this value right now, and I'm going to just move it to that position and click there before I type. So I am just going to use pa dot click, and then I'll pass in those arguments. So I have 529 and 481, and I am going to now uncomment this. So on the y axis, I'm going to move it a bit further because I just typed in something that was not there before, so it's going to affect the position. So I might just round this off to 500, and I'm going to run. So this should move the cursor down, and it types it in really fast. So, and all right, so I just hope you get the basic idea of what we can do with this. So you can check out more methods. You can check out how to screenshot, and we can screenshot by writing this Pyautogui dot screenshot. So if I use just dot screenshot, it will just screenshot, and I could give it a variable and save it, right? So I can say screen equals that, and after the screenshot, I am going to save it. So, and I'm going to say screen dot save, and I'm going to call it screen dot png. So I'm going to get rid of all of this, and I'm going to run. So this will screenshot the entire workspace, right? And if we come to this folder, if you come to this place, you can see that we have this screen.png in this very workspace. Okay, so you can see the screenshots, And if you want a particular portion of your work to be screenshot, you can decide to give it, pass in the size of the screenshot. So, and you can pass in two other values that will also be in pixels. So you can say you want 100 by 100. Okay, so this is going to just run for us. And I believe that this will override the normal screen.png. So you can see it has overwritten the other one. So, and you can decide to save this in an absolute path. So you can say you want it to be on, so the folder that is housing this automation. So we can check that out. And if we come out of this, so, and if we come out here, you can see that we have screen.png outside of this automation folder. So that is how you can manipulate your UI with PyAuto GUI. So you can check out the documentation for more information on how to use this. So we are going to be building our milestone project, and we are also going to be implementing this PyAuto GUI. So thank you so much for watching this video, and see you in the next one.